Hello, welcome back to GameSpot's coverage of E3 2013. Ted Timmons, you're here from Lionhead.
I am.
You've got a little treat for us today.
Yes, we're showing off Fable Anniversary for the first time, and to start with, we're just going to show you the smart glass experience because we feel we're doing something that hasn't really been done before with smart glass on Xbox 360.
Awesome. So we'll have a look at Fable Anniversary footage for the first time in just a few minutes. But first of all, please show us what's going on here.
So basically, when this is linked to your Xbox, you can just click on your hero, and it will tell you your objective and what you need to do to proceed in the level. As you play through the game, you'll actually see your hero walk along the path. One of the things that I think is really cool about this particular app is that if you click on the camera, it will show you what Fable 1 looked like 10 years ago.
Oh wow.
So it's our way of giving that sort of past and present look in the game. And obviously that was a massive success for Halo, but we felt we should do something slightly different and use the power of smart glass to achieve that. And the great thing about smart glass is it's free. You know, anyone with a smart device, whether that's a tablet or a phone, can very easily just download it and play it straight away. So I'll guide you through some of the other stuff. In this particular quest that we're going to show you, there's chests. Chest you click on, it actually just tells you what's in it. So it's also part strategy guide. So anyone who's playing at home, I like the idea that they can set up the map just next to them on the side as they're playing through. They can watch their hero run through the quest, and then whenever they feel like they need just that extra bit of information, they can interact with it. So I'll show you the next bit as well. For anyone that's familiar with Fable, of course the demon door is always really, really important. You can click on the demon door. It actually tells you what you need and what requirements to get in. So we're actually working very closely with Prima on this because we appreciate that some people might just not want the spoilers.
Yeah,
so we're working with them to work out, how is the best way that we can get this experience to players without entirely spoiling it for them. So I'll show you one of the last really cool things in this. If I go to the boss fight, which you'll see shortly with Twin Blade, if you actually look, you can actually see that there's some background story on Twin Blade that you actually don't get in the game. You've got a nice bit of concept art of the actual how he looked in Fable 1. And when we get back to the UK next week, when the show is over,
once you've had a couple of days rest,
exactly. We really want to implement an actual screenshot tool.
Cool.
So when we started on Fable Anniversary, one of the things I did was I went back and read all the original forums from 2004. I mean, that's the beauty of the internet; it's always permanent, right? And it's always there.
It's also the worst thing about the internet.
Exactly. So I went through, read it all, and what was amazing was back in 2004, people were taking photos with a camera, sending the film off to get developed, getting the film back, then scanning the photo in, and then with their 56K uploading it. So yeah, I think this could be a really nice feature when we
Awesome. Well, thank you for showing us the smart glass integration, and I think it's about time we had a look at Fable Anniversary running for the very first time.
Yes, this is really exciting for us because we actually haven't shown this off yet. My Twitter feed all week has just been demanding this, so I'm really grateful for you guys sparing the time.
Not at all. Thank you very much for bringing it along. So yeah, explain what's going on here in terms of. This is obviously a recreation of the first game. Is this in a graphical sense, mechanically? What have you guys done?
It's a full remastering. Obviously, visuals you can see instantly. We've updated absolutely everything: meshes, textures, the whole lot. We've redone all the audio. Russell Shaw, the original composer, is still at Lionhead. He's gone back, remastered everything for surround sound, so it sounds absolutely glorious. Widescreen support. It seems so trivial these days to have widescreen, but back in 2004, it was a pretty big deal. What you can see my colleague here, he's actually opening the chest. He's going to grab a piece of clothing, and now this particular quest was where you first met Teresa. So we felt this was a really appropriate quest to bring to the show because it's a fan favorite. Yeah, Teresa's obviously a major character.
The before and after.
And to talk about some of the other things. Obviously, you can still fart, you can still kick chickens, but now it's in full high definition glory.
Just to remind people as well, this is running on a debug unit. This is very early. So
the frame rate still can be a little bit choppy at times. So we got plenty of time to look at all that stuff. Really, we just wanted to bring it here and show the Fable fans that one of their favorite games, for some people ever, as we found out this week, is being completely remastered for 360.
So what were the biggest requests then from fans in having Fable back? Was it simply so they could just mine achievements on their new console so they could see it in HD?
I think a lot of people just sometimes want an excuse to replay one of their favorite games.
Sure.
I've been really enjoying working on the achievements. We'll be revealing more about those over the next few weeks, but I think one of the things we've done with it that's really exciting is that Fable has always been about good and evil, choice and consequence, and we've tried to actually put that into the achievements. So it sounds a bit weird for now, but I'm trying to tease it a little out there.
Good and evil, perhaps.
I'll also mention that the save game system is completely new.
Okay.
So the save game system was ropey, let's say at best. So any Fable fans will just be able to know that now they can save the game whenever they like. Again, doesn't sound like a big deal now, but in 2004, it wasn't a very good experience.
So in terms of making a game like this, redoing it again, there's obviously maybe a desire to add content to it, to maybe take some of the lessons from sequels into it. So was there anything perhaps from the more recent Fable games that you guys have decided, you know what, maybe that could have been...
So we've got a really good team working on this. I was actually a tester on the original title. Some of the guys that I'm working with have worked on like Fable 2, Fable 3, Fable: The Journey. So I'm looking at it very much from the perspective of the fanboy. I'm the guy that wants to throw in more content and change everything and that kind of thing. But the guys who are keeping me grounded, it's like we're walking rather than running, which is very sensible.
So you guys trying to stick as close as possible?
Yeah,
to
the things that we are looking at is providing the Fable 2 control scheme as an option.
Okay.
So we realise that there are people out there that are going to want to play it pure in its old 2004 format. But I'd really like to include the Fable 2 control scheme because I feel we really advanced and we really improved it. And then also we're just looking at everything really. The load times are going to be massively reduced. I mean, when the programmers asked me what the design was for the load screen, my reply was, what load screen? That's how we're looking at these kind of things.
I've seen Mr. Molyneux walking around the various booths. Has he had a look at this yet? Has he wandered
he popped over.
to
Obviously, friend of the studio. Obviously, he's no longer with us. But yeah, he popped over, had a play, gave the thumbs up, and then went back on his way. So.
Only seal of approval as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. So in terms of, say, you guys did a lot of multiplayer or maybe kind of social elements in the later Fable games that were kind of interesting in terms of information popping up in other people's games, being able to join other people's games. Is there any of that being introduced into Fable Anniversary?
So we didn't want to be detrimental to the core experience. Like I said, I'm floating away with ideas, but we are trying to stay grounded. We appreciate that people are going to want to play it in its original format. But things like leaderboards provide a really nice additional experience. We're putting in loads of leaderboards. Who can kick chickens the furthest in the world?
Who can fart the most?
That's an important thing, and so that's where we're investing a lot of our time, is to get that worldwide competition via leaderboards.
Was there anything you guys had to do in terms of voice acting then, to maybe recut stuff? Or?
We actually wanted to keep it the same. Again, it's that nostalgic memory that people have. I will say that they've all been remastered, so that the compression is a lot less than it used to be. But the feedback from the fans has been, don't change the voice acting. We want it to be as it was in 2004.
It must be a hard line to tie, because obviously people are a little less forgiving about creating this stuff. The voice acting, obviously, they can remember that person and they want to keep that character. But then when it comes to the graphics, they're like, do whatever you want, just make it look great.
Yeah, right, just as long as it looks pretty. So our director, who's actually with us here at the moment, he's very much keen to just make the game look as beautiful as possible, and why not? I mean, we're actually running the game through Unreal, so it's allowed us to have a whole new lighting system. We can have materials for the first time. It's actually a really powerful tool for us to use, and I know that the art team are really enjoying using it.
Is there any possibility of being able to swap back to the old Fable art style maybe during the game?
Yeah, so one of the things that I briefly showed on the smart glass was the ability to look at Fable 1 as it used to be, and that's how we really want to maintain this past and present feel, because I love smart glass. When I first heard about it, I thought it was an awesome piece of technology, and I love the idea that you can actually click on the screenshot and you can actually hold it side by side. There's no swapping. You can directly compare shot to shot, and I think that's quite a nice little feature.
Cool. I'm guessing technically it's probably very difficult. New architecture.
And when you think about it, is that a good investment? Because there's so many different things you can invest time in. I mean, personally, I'd rather the game looked better just on its own and stood up on its own, and then we use smart glass to utilize all these extra features. I
just want to get at least one question in here. The chat is going absolutely crazy. Most people just asking for the player to fart. But can I ask this one? M&M Stranger has asked the very good question: will there be any extra missions or bonus stuff that weren't in the original?
That is a really good question, and like I said, I want to float off and add loads of new stuff, but our priority right now is to make the best Fable Anniversary experience we possibly can. When we finish the project in a few months' time, I'd love to look at DLC. One of the great things about Fable Lost Chapters initially, when it was out on the PC in 2005, we had a huge modding community, and so we can actually look back into the past and see, hey, what was a really popular mod? What can we bring to people through the medium of DLC now? So yeah, keep your eyes peeled. I would love to, the team would love to, but we just don't want to lose focus right now.
Cool. Well, Ted, thank you so much for bringing Fable Anniversary here. It's great to finally have a look at it. When will people be able to get a hold of it themselves on one platform?
So currently it's on Xbox 360, and it'll be available on Holiday 2013.
Oh, that's very close. Holiday.
I know.
See, we've been in America so long.
Right?
We're talking like
this. It's Holiday. It's not Christmas.
It's awesome. Enjoy the rest of your E3,
Thank
buddy.
you very
Thanks
much.
very much for
Cheers.
coming along. Stage 2 keeps on rolling. We've got loads of great games coming up, including Scribblenauts Unlimited. Or not Scribblenauts Unlimited. That's been out for ages. What am I talking about? Scribblenauts Unmasked. So if you like comic book heroes and you like the Scribblenauts, stick around. We're back in 5 minutes.
Awesome.